Trump's 2026 State of the Union, long, partisan, and packed with showmanship. On the evening of February 24, 2026, President Donald J. Trump delivered his first official State of the Union address of his second presidential term before a joint session of the U.S. Congress, and it was historic in more ways than one. Clocking in at 1 hour, 48 minutes, this speech became the longest such address in U.S. history. A triumphal opening focused on the economy. Trump opened his speech by placing the state of the nation on what he repeatedly described as a trajectory of resurgence and prosperity. He highlighted economic improvements, claiming inflation had dropped, gas prices were down, stock markets were rising, and unemployment remained low, framing these trends as signs that America is winning again. As part of the spectacle, the president introduced several groups and individuals in the chamber, including the U.S. Olympic men's hockey team, whom he honored with presidential medals, and a Coast Guard rescue swimmer recognized for heroic actions during historic floods. Policy proposals and partisan appeals. Throughout the address, Trump pitched a series of legislative and policy ideas that reflected his broader conservative agenda. He urged Congress to pass voter ID and citizenship verification laws as part of a broader election integrity push. He called for limits on congressional stock trading and expanded anti-fraud measures as part of a so-called war on fraud. On health care, Trump reiterated efforts to cut prescription drug costs and advance TrumpRx reforms aimed at pricing transparency. Foreign policy references included warnings about Iran's nuclear ambitions and renewed support for NATO defense spending. In several moments, Trump concentrated less on detailed policy specifics and more on broad assertions of success, a pattern that drew pushback from analysts and fact-checkers. Controversy and congressional divides. The address was deeply partisan and theatrical. Trump directed sharp criticism at Democrats throughout the night, blaming them for past economic struggles and characterizing their policies as harmful to national interests. The session saw tense moments from the outset. Representative Al Green, D. Texas, was ejected for silently holding a protest sign, and reports noted heightened disapproval among Democratic lawmakers, with some refusing to attend and others expressing vocal dissent during the speech. Reaction and Republican messaging. Republican members of Congress frequently stood and applauded during Trump's address, underscoring strong party unity. Trump's emphasis on economic success, border security, and cultural issues was clearly designed to rally the GOP base ahead of the midterm elections later in 2026. Several Republican leaders described the speech as a bold presentation of their vision for America's future. Broad public response and Democratic criticism. Responses from Democratic leaders and commentators underscored the deep political divide. Democrats criticized Trump for downplaying economic hardship faced by many Americans, questioning the reality behind his optimistic assertions, and warning that his rhetoric on immigration and culture wars undermine national unity. Some media critics and commentators also noted the heavy use of theatrical elements, emotional appeals, and symbolic moments, such as honoring athletes and veterans, as a way to frame Trump's narrative of national revival, even as viewers and polls suggested widespread public skepticism about the effectiveness of his policies.